it's a social enterprise that is focused on eradicating child malnutrition around the continent. And today I would like to introduce our new partner, Hope for Tomorrow. And the representative or founder of Hope for Tomorrow is here with me. We can never be excited like this. With me today is
Tommy Rice Manga.
Hi, Miss Tonya. How are you doing
I'm
today?
doing well. How are you?
I'm doing very fine, thank you. And thank you so much for making time for us today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So tell me, what is Hope for Tomorrow?
So Hope for Tomorrow is a nonprofit organization. It's based in the U.S., but we're currently doing work in Ghana. We are going to start doing work in the U.S. It's coming October.
Are you on any other part of the African continent?
No, not yet. But we have been talking to partner with an organization, or actually two organizations in Tanzania.
Awesome. So why did you choose Ghana to be the first point?
A lot of people ask me that. So back in 2010, actually it started in 2009, I wanted to be in the Peace Corps. So in the U.S., Peace Corps is a nonprofit organization. They send volunteers to different countries around the world. And so I really wanted to be a Peace Corps volunteer because I love volunteering, I love serving, I love giving back. That's just part of my nature. And so in 2010, my mom was really like, okay, before you decide to go to the Peace Corps, just to make sure that you are able to live abroad on your own, try volunteering somewhere. And so I actually have a lot of friends from Ghana, or even from the continent, and she was just like, do that first. So I was looking into where I should volunteer, and some of my friends were like, maybe you should try Ghana. Normally, apparently, it's the place where a lot of Black Americans start out at when they visit the continent. And so I registered, I got paid for my plane ticket and all of that, and then I came to Ghana for a month, where I stayed in a village called Brookborn. I tell people this all of the time. It was true. Like in the U.S., I've served, volunteered, but something about being in Ghana in 2010 changed my life. I had originally just wanted to be a child psychologist, but being here and seeing the needs of the students, I was like, okay, this is what I feel like I'm called to do. I'm called to work with children more, and I'm also called to help people, and not just in Ghana, but all over.
Yeah, I mean, calling that has to do with children, it's somewhat contagious. I remember that day when a friend of mine shared a post on LinkedIn. And here, if you're a professional, you should be on LinkedIn because good connections such as this, do happen. So a friend of mine called Eric actually shared a post from Tonya regarding Hope for Tomorrow. And he was like, if you are interested in child malnutrition or whatever got to do with nutrition among children, just link up. And I connected with Tonya, and here we are today. And it's a kind of partnership that makes me feel so fulfilled. Starting working with Hope for Tomorrow and assessing the children, trying to fix their nutrition needs, and it was just awesome. So Tonya, tell me, for everything that you can do to support children, find that part of nutrition.
Really, it's a major issue. So even I always link things back to things in the States first, because that's where I saw small portions of it. Here it's on a larger scale. So for example, I used to work in an all-girls school in DC. I don't want to say the school name, but some of the students were hungry, and so.
Oh, so like students in the U.S. also
there are students
experience hunger?
There are students in the U.S. who experience hunger.
Interesting.
I'll go back to that. I'll expand more on that later on.
Okay.
But working with some of the kids, they were hungry. It was hard for them to focus in class. And then also during the holidays in the U.S., a lot of the students who receive free meals during the school year, they're not getting the food that they need during the holidays. So in 2017, I went to my mom and I was just like, I want to adopt a class for Christmas and like give them a basket of food. And so my mom was like, okay, let's try to put this together. And so I adopted my old so I was a TA at the school. So I contacted the teacher and I was like, we would really like to sponsor your class's meals for the winter break. And so we just started talking to family and friends. It was, around Thanksgiving, we started speaking with people, and we raised well over $1,000.
Wow.
And so with that, we had these huge baskets of food for the kids, hats, gloves, scarves, even Christmas presents.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were able to do that. And the teacher told us, she came back to us and was like, the families are so grateful that you all were able to, that you allowed God to use you in this way. So here, the same thing, like children are hungry. You're hungry, even as adults. If you're hungry, it's hard to concentrate.
That's right.
So just imagine being a child. You really don't have control over when you can eat, what you can eat.
Right.
And so here we just want to make sure that we provide students an opportunity to do that. The reason why we're doing it here now and not in the U.S. is because financially, this is where we're able to help at this time. But again, coming up next month, we're going to start helping the homeless population in D.C. as well as families in need.
Wow, that's some great work you're doing. And when it's about children and food, it feels so great to connect with you because we are actually solving a world problem, okay? And for us as Healthmates, Zero Hunger, as explained by the Sustainable Development Goal, becoming a dietitian made the problem of child malnutrition thrown into my face like that. And I realized there's something I can really do with my profession, and connecting with you comes so spot on because we are directly, dealing squarely with the problem. And for those of you who may not be aware, 1 out of every 5 children die because of child malnutrition before they turn 5, and 1 out of 19 is likely to die before the age 2 in Ghana. And so the problem of malnutrition or nutrition, that's got to do with children, being able to have access to not just food but nutritious and well-balanced food. It's a serious problem that has to be taken seriously. And I'm so thankful to God that an organization like Hope for Tomorrow through Tonya is doing such an amazing work in Ghana. So tell us about your work in Ghana. Which schools are you currently working with, and what have you been able to achieve so far?
So currently we're at Our Grace Education Complex. It was formerly known as Our Grace Preparatory School. In the past we've helped them before, just with like a school bus and cement and water.
Oh, so even before you started the nutrition program, you were actually sending support to the school?
Yes.
Oh, that's
So in
great.
2020, I visited Ghana again. And so when I returned, I stayed in a community in the western region, and I saw the need. So they were the school bus they had broke down. And a lot of the kids come from maybe almost an hour away to come to school. And so if a child isn't able to come to school, they're not able to get lunch. They're not able to learn, right? And so the school bus broke down, and I went, of course, I went to my support system. And one of the people, she actually, I hope it's okay if I say this, she has a prophetic gift. So when I went to her, she said, oh, God had already told me that something was going to happen and you would need some money. So I had some money set aside. We'll ask around to get more donors to get the bus. We were able to raise $8,500 for the school bus. We also know that they needed water because the kids were, not everyone could have water, and then some of the kids were bringing water to the school. They were walking far, bringing water to the school. And so, that's a hassle for you, right? But just being a child having to do that everywhere, and you're walking for like a mile plus, right? And so we were able to get donors to help us with that. So the school now has drinking water. They needed, when we first went to the school, they had the structures in place, but the ground was just the dirt. Yeah. So we were able to get like cement for the floors. lot. They needed some things, so we were able to help.
Now this is getting exciting because we've moved from nutrition now talking about clean environment, potable water, transport system, and it all syncs with my spirit because when I learned about sustainable development goals, I also learned about how they are all intertwined and interrelated. So Tonya here through Hope for Tomorrow is dealing with transportation because they are kids and they don't have a lot of energy. You don't expect them to walk long distances from the various villages to school.
It's
They
also
will
a
already
safety
be
issue.
tired.
It's a safety issue too.
Yes, and it's a safety issue. That's so true. And I remember one of our projects in Ghana, the environment was so bad, like it was so dirty. And with the little nutrition the children are getting, they will have to channel the nutrients they are getting to fighting infection when that nutrient is supposed to be invested in their growth. And that's what actually leads to child malnutrition among that group of people. So hearing that you're dealing with issues concerning potable water, transportation, ensuring clean environment for the kids to study, that's a holistic solution to solving the problem. And God bless you for everything you are doing. So what does the future look like for Hope for Tomorrow?
Really just creating more sustainable lunch programs. And not just lunch programs, but nutrition education, gardens, protein projects, because that's another issue. Some students aren't receiving enough protein or protein at all. And that's important for development, for growth, even for the immune system.
That's
right? And so that's what we want to make sure. We want to make sure that students are getting the proper nutrition for long-term health.
That's awesome. So if you're an organization, a corporation, and you feel you can partner or support Hope for Tomorrow for this amazing work they are doing, I mean, this is a great cause to invest in. Okay. Anything more you would like to let me know?
Really, every dime that comes through Hope for Tomorrow really goes towards making sure people are fed, making sure that students in schools have what they need, making sure that we have the proper farmers and cooks and people that we need even on the ground, hiring locals, people who need jobs. So everything that we're doing is helping schools and also helping communities.
And also helping Ghana. Okay. This is very exciting, and I'm gonna say again that God bless you so much for the amazing work you are doing in Ghana. And I pray that lots of resources will come in so that you'll be able to expand your impact beyond measure. Go to every school in Ghana, every school in Africa, and around the world, and that's what we are aiming at. Thank you so much, thank you very much for your time, and I'm very happy for what you're doing. And we at Healthmates will always do everything in our capacity to support.
Thank you for helping us.
My pleasure.